President Biden promising to create millions of jobs while touting his $2 trillion infrastructure plan.
It's not a plan that tinkers around the edges. It's a once-in-a-generation investment in America. It will create millions of jobs, good-paying jobs. The American Jobs Plan will lead to a transformational progress in our effort to tackle climate change.
But labor groups are waving a red flag, saying a massive investment in green energy will devastate rural communities. Welding, foreman, and pipeliners union 798 member Billy Burns joins me live now. Billy, good to see you this morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, Jillian.
What has been the most devastating part of all of this to you?
Well, as it's transpired since getting cut out of the Keystone XL pipeline, it's been actually seeing my coworkers having to take odd jobs and just do whatever they can to stay afloat at this point.
Are people having a hard time staying afloat?
Yeah, you know, there's some work out there, but we have a lot of masses of people. You know, we got in our union alone close to 7,000 workers, and there's a lot of people still out of work, and we were sure hoping to get some big projects going. The Keystone was huge, and with that being not in our work scope right now, that makes things really tough for this year, for sure.
You know, I'm curious.
We kind of hit a brick wall.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm curious if there's a middle ground to be had here, because you have, you know, on one hand, people who believe in the fossil fuels and the jobs that creates, and then you have people who say, yeah, but, you know, we need green energy. Is there a middle ground to be had here? And if so, what would those jobs look like?
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of wondering why we're skipping natural gas here. Natural gas is a lot cleaner burning, and we were kind of headed that way earlier a couple of years ago. Natural gas stations getting put in, and that helps our members, you know. And it's a good middle ground and we got to have that power that can run some of these vehicles, because electric just won't cut the mustard on a lot of things that's on the road. But natural gas is a good viable asset to have, and I really think we ought to use that in the transition, and that would help our union workers keep this natural gas flowing, because we lay pipelines for that as well, and it's a lot cleaner burning and a lot better for the environment if that's the way we have to go.
Yeah. We have a quote here from the United Mine Workers on the temporary nature of construction jobs, and this reads, quote, "The jobs that he had talked about," he is the president, "were construction jobs. We're not seeing anything concrete that our members can look at and say, okay, that's where I'm going to fit in." And that's what I think you're talking about, is you're seeing, you know, a lot of your coworkers and employees having to take odd jobs just to be able to make ends meet, right?
That's correct, and I really feel sorry for the coal miners, and there's a lot of other people just beside pipeline workers that it is affecting, and I really feel for them right now, because I think we need all this energy to some point to make the world go around, so to speak, here in the United States.
And to recap here, the Keystone XL projections before the construction was halted, 11,000 were expected to be employed by that. 8,000 union workers, $1.6 billion expected in gross wages. And a lot of these jobs are people like yourself who, you know, you've been at this for 41 years. We actually have a picture of you with your father learning to weld. And I know that this is something that, you know, your father passed down to you, this craft, right?
Yes, that's correct. I mean, you see that picture, I had my rubber boots on, and we were at the house, or my dad was at the house practicing for a job, and I'm standing behind him just because that's what little boys do. You know, we like to see what our dads are doing, and I came up from that point to this point, and yeah, that Keystone project, I had a ton of workers ready to go, and they're all reeling right now, and most of those had fathers as well. We get this passed down to us from our fathers. A lot of us do, and it's been a great career to have, and I'm sure we're trying to find a silver lining in all this. It's just not showing up just yet.
Yeah, well, I can appreciate your attitude and trying to, you know, find that silver lining. I also appreciate you coming on here, telling us your story, because it's very real, and a lot of Americans are in the same position as you right now. Billy Burns, keep us updated, and thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, Jillian.
Yep, Lawrence.